उवाच
अनाश्रितः कर्मफलम् कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः यं सन्न्यासमिति प्राहुर् योगन्तं विद्धि पाण्डव नैह्यसन्न्यस्तसङ्कल्पो योगी भवति कश्चन आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शमः कारणमुच्यते यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मस्वनुषज्जते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुर् आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत् जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनौ रघुवर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरौ कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्त न धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots, turn off notifications, click on that, click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
संस्थापकं वीरम्।
जय श्री कृष्णा। A very warm welcome to all sadhaks joining us on Zoom as we come together once again to continue our journey through chapter 6, Atma Sanyama Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita. With reverence and gratitude, let us offer our pranam at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swami Acharya Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, seeking their grace to understand and imbibe the profound teachings of Gita Jnana. In a previous session, Bhagavan introduced us to the path of meditation and the importance of mastering the mind. Today, he takes us deeper into the challenge that every seeker faces, the restless mind, and shows us how, through practice and detachment, we can get mastery over it. Master your restless mind. As we receive Bhagavan's timeless wisdom, may we learn to cultivate greater steadiness, inner balance, and equanimity, not only in meditation, but in our everyday lives. But before we delve deeper into Bhagavan's teaching on mastering the restless mind, let us first turn inward through prayer, seeking His grace to quieten our minds, our thoughts, and open our heart to His wisdom. I now humbly invite Vrinda Mahavale from Mumbai, Maharashtra to offer our collective prayers. Retired from the state government services, Vrinda ji has been part of Geeta Pariwar since January 2023 and devotedly offers a seva as a technical assistant, co-trainer, and in the calling and support team. Vrinda ji, may I request you to respectfully now offer our collective prayers at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Shri Krishna Didi, thank you so much for that heartfelt prayer. With our minds turned towards Bhagavan through prayer, let us now proceed with Deep Prajwalan. May this sacred flame illumine our minds, dispel restlessness, and guide us towards the inner steadiness and self-mastery that Bhagavan teaches us. For this sacred Deep Prajwalan, I now respectfully invite Rupa Thakurji from Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Rupa ji has been part of Geeta Pariwar since August 2024 and offers a seva in the adding department, calling and support department, and as a group coordinator. Rupa ji, may I humbly request you to perform the Deep Prajwalan on behalf of all of us, invoking the light of Jnana.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासाम् वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Rupaji, for taking us into your beautiful mandir and making us part of the beautiful Deep Prajwalan. A truly special milestone awaits us as the 50th Learngeeta batch begins on 16th of October. Let us make this golden batch even more meaningful by connecting as many people as possible with the timeless wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. Let us come together and encourage maximum registrations for this special golden batch by inviting our friends and family to begin their own Gita journey with Learngeeta. Registration is now open at joingeeta.com. As Param Pujya Swamiji says, Har Ghar Gita, Har Kar Gita. Gita in every home, Gita in every hand. Today's teaching takes us to one of the most universal challenges on the spiritual path, the restless mind, and Bhagwan shows us how meditation, discipline, and practice can transform it into our greatest ally. To guide us through these profound teachings, we are privileged to have Geeta Vrati, Sri Vikas Vaidya ji with us today. Vikas ji, an engineer and management professional with 27 plus years of leadership and international consulting experience, including as a consultant to the Ministry of Strategic Industries, Government of Indonesia. A polyglot, he is fluent in English, Hindi, Marathi, Indonesian, Malay, and Spanish. He has also translated and subtitled 50 plus Indian feature films into Indonesian and Malay. Within Geeta Pariwar, he is a trainer across all 4 levels and contributes to trainer selection and trainer training process. For over 4 years, he has guided aspirants for the prestigious Sharada Peeth Bhagavad Gita examination, helping 500 plus Gita Vratis and share the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and Vishnu Sahasranam through his wonderful Vivechans. He authors a daily Marathi newspaper column on the Gita and has taken its wisdom internationally through live radio interviews and Bhagavad Gita Parayana programs at Sydney and London. In 2018, he received the first prize in the Sringeri Sharada Peeth Bhagavad Gita Kanthasthi exam from His Holiness Jagat Guru Shankaracharya. A living example of disciplined sadhana, he has been reciting all the 18 chapters of the Gita every day of the year for over 7 years. His blend of scriptural scholarship, global experience, and practical insight makes the Gita deeply relevant to contemporary life. Please join me in warmly welcome Vikas Bhaiya ji, and we humbly request you, Bhaiya, to guide us through today's Vivechan. Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्णा थैंक्स अलॉट टू बी दीदी परम पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन A warm welcome to all of you for this second session of 6th अध्याय आत्म संयम योग or ध्यान योग what we call it. You'll have to excuse me today, I don't have a tilak on my head because I'm traveling actually. So this is amid the travel I'm taking this session. So you'll have to excuse me for that. Last time we discussed up to slok number 11. Shishodeshe pratishthapya sthiramasanamatmanah nati chidan nati nichai chaila yankushottaram. God has recommended that we should select a clean and pure place. Shishodeshe. The devotee should establish a firm seat for meditation. Sthiram asana. Neither too high nor too low. Nati chidan nati nichai. And how to prepare the seat? Chaila yankushottaram. Put kusha grass before above the deer skin and a cloth placed one above the other. So this was the shloka that we ended last session with. Next shloka, after that what to do? Yogeshwar Krishna Bhagavan himself is telling us what to do next after we prepare the seat. Tatraikagram marakritva yatachittendriya kriyaha apavishyasane yunjad yogamatma vishuddhaye. Tatra means there, in that place where we have prepared that place, Chalayajan Kushottarama, that Chalayajan Kushottara, in that place, Ekagram, one pointed, concentrated, Manaha, mind, Krutva, having made that, Yata, the controlled, restrained, Chitta is our mind, our consciousness, Indriya, our senses, Kriyaha, activities, functions of Indriyas, Upavishya, having sat there on that asana, asane, yunjat, should practice, should get engaged into performing yoga. Atma, self, vishuddha, for purification. So Sri Krishna Bhagavan is now telling us that having established oneself in a suitable seat, which we have prepared in the earlier shloka. Tattarika Sthiramasana Atmana Shushodesha Pradishtapya Sthiramasana Atmana Nate Chidan Natini Change Chailajana Koshottaram. So we have prepared the seat, now we are sitting on that seat. After that, having established oneself in a suitable seat, one should make the mind one-pointed, control the activities of mind and senses, and practice yoga for purification of self, not for asking any favor from God, no materialistic desire, but only for purification of self, Atma Vishuddhaya. This is the sole purpose of our dhyan, our yoga. We are not asking any material demand from God. We want our chitta to get Shuddha, Atma Vishuddhaya. This is the sole purpose of doing dhyan. So the important one here is ekagram, one-pointed. Ordinarily, the mind jumps from one thought to another thought. Mind is like a monkey, you keep jumping from one tree to another tree, one branch of tree to another branch of tree. The thoughts keep coming to our mind. What should I do tomorrow? Why did he say that yesterday to me? Why did she did not give a smile? I smiled at her, she did not return the smile. Or some thought may come in the night to your mind, oh, did I lock the door or not? Or what happened yesterday? So Krishna says, bring the mind to one point. Don't think about anything else at this moment when you are sitting for dhyana. Meditation therefore begins not with some extraordinary mystical experience, but with the simple discipline of collecting the scattered mind at one point. The purpose is Atma Vishuddhaya, purification of the inner being. That is the purpose of our dhyan, our meditation. This does not mean that the self itself becomes impure. Rather, the mind and inner instrument become purified, so that the light of the self can be experienced more clearly by us. When the chitta is shuddha, when Atma Vishuddhaya is done, then we can see the inner light by ourselves, within ourselves. So when you sit for meditation, don't demand that my mind must become completely blank instantly. This never happens. Never happens. Instead of that, say that I will gently bring my wandering mind back to one chosen object. Mind, the swabhava of mind is to keep wandering here and there. You sit for meditation at a place which you have selected, prepared very well, but the mind will go and sit in Pizza Hut, eating pizza there, or watching a movie in theater. You have to bring back the mind from there and bring to this one chosen place. So that repeated return itself is meditation practice. When we sit for meditation, to bring back the mind to that place where we are meditating is the meditation practice itself. So don't get discouraged that the mind is not getting focused at one point. It is wandering here and there. It is natural to happen. After that, what to do? Samankaya shiro grivan dhariyan nichalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swan dishascha navalokayan nasikagram dishascha navalokayan. Samam is straight, aligned. Kaya is our body. Shira is our head. Grivam is our neck. Dharayan, to hold, to maintain. Achala, motionless. Sthira, steady. Sampreksha, to look at, to focus at. Nasikagram. This is Nasika and this is Agram of Nasika. The front of nose is Nasikagram. Swam, of one's own nose is Nasikagra. Don't look at somebody else's Nasikagra. Look at your own Swan Nasikagra. See, God is going to so much details, He's telling us don't look here and there at somebody else's nose in Nasikagra. Look at your own Nasikagra. Na avalokayan. Dishascha navalokayan. Directions. Disha is direction. Na avalokayan. Not looking around. So Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā says, after you are sitting at that place, keep the body, kaya, head, shira, and neck, griva, straight and steady. One should remain still, with the attention directed towards inner rather than looking around in different directions. Na dishascha navalokan. Idhar udhar mat dekho. So Sri Krishna Bhagavan now gives instructions about how posture and physical stillness should be maintained. The body, neck and head should be properly aligned, one line. Why should it be done like that? Because a constantly moving body encourages a constantly moving mind. If the body keeps moving like this, the mind also keeps moving like this. If we keep changing our posture, scratching here, or looking around here and there, checking the phone, or responding to every small sensation, concentration becomes impossible. Not difficult, but impossible. The physical body should therefore become stable and quiet. This is the first step. Allowing the mind to become stable and quiet. What does looking at the tip of nose mean? नासिकाग्रम यहाँ पे दिखने का मतलब क्या है? What does it mean? Looking here. This shloka is sometimes interpreted too literally. The deeper purpose is not to strain the eyes by staring at the nose. It means that the gaze should be restrained and directed inward, without allowing the eyes to wander towards external objects. The principle is less visual distraction. It leads to less sensory stimulation. And less sensory stimulation means greater inwardness. So when meditating, sit comfortably and steadily. Keep the spine reasonably straight. Keep the head and neck aligned. Close the eyes gently or maintain a soft downward gaze. Avoid unnecessary physical movement. The objective is stability, not discomfort. So don't put too much tension of this particular shloka. The objective is to have stability of body. But don't take any discomfort, uncomfortable position. After that, what to do? Prashantatma vigadabhi brahmachari vrate sthidaha manasayama chitto yukta asita matparaha. The peaceful mind, free from fear, established in self-discipline, controlling the mind and fixing it upon me. The yogi should remain devoted to me and consider me the supreme goal. So Prashanta is completely peaceful. Atma is our inner self, our mind. Vigata, free from Bhiru. Bhi is fear. Bhi is fear. Brahmacharya, disciplined conduct. Brahmacharya is not only not getting married, but discipline is control of sensual desires. Vrate, in the vow, in the discipline. Sthitaha is established. Mana, mind. Sanyamya, having controlled. Matachittaha, with mind fixed on me. Matachittaha. Yukta is united. Disciplined or absorbed in yoga is yukta. Asita, should remain, should sit. Mata paraha, taking me as the supreme goal of his life. So this is the inner dimension of meditation. God earlier said that na dishacha navalokan, idhar udhar mat dekho. Now he is telling us how to look inward. So this is the inner dimension of meditation. Physical posture done alone does not produce yoga. सीधा बैठ गया मतलब योगा हो गया, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Shri Krishna gives 4 important qualities. First, Prashantatma, peaceful within. The objective is not merely physical relaxation, it is inner tranquility. The mind gradually becomes less dominated by anger, jealousy, fear, excessive desires, kamanas, anxiety, attachment. When it is Prashantatma. Vigatavhi, free from fear. Fear is one of the greatest disturbances of the mind. A person constantly thinking, what will happen to me? Cannot easily become inwardly peaceful if he always keeps thinking, what will happen to me? What will happen to me? You are sitting peacefully at one place, mind is at peace, suddenly a thought comes to your mind. You are walking on Lakshan Jhula in Haridwar, and suddenly the rope breaks of that Jhula, of that bridge. What will happen? Why are you thinking of such things? But mind is like that. It can think of anything. So spiritual understanding gradually replaces fear with trust in the divine order. Next is Brahmachari Vrate Sthiraha, established in disciplined living. Brahmachari is often narrowly translated as celibacy, but in the broader yogic context, it means wise regulation of the sensual energy and desires. The principle is simple. Don't allow the senses to dictate your life. That is the principle of Brahmachari Pratisthitaha. Don't allow the senses to dictate your life. Mati chittaha. Mind fixed on me. This is perhaps the most important instruction in this shloka. Shri Krishna does not merely say, control your thoughts. He says, place your mind on me. The mind becomes easier to control when it has a higher objective of love and concentration. So God says, I am that objective of love and concentration. Fix your mind on me. That is why bhakti and jnana naturally support each other. Jnana supports bhakti, bhakti supports jnana. After this, what to do? Next shloka. Injannevam sadatmane yogi niyatamanasah shanti nirvana paramam vastanstham adhigacchati. Thus, constantly practicing yoga with a disciplined mind, the yogi attains supreme peace, the highest state of liberation abiding in me. Yunjan is to practice. To get engaged in yoga is yunjan. Evam, in this manner, sada, always, continuously. Atmanam, oneself, mind. Yogi, the one who is practicing yoga, is yogi. Niyata, niyata is to get, control, disciplined. Manasaha is mind. Shantim, peace. Nirvana, nirvana is nirvana, liberation. Extinction of worldly bondage is nirvana. Paramam, supreme, highest. Mat, me, samstham, abiding in, established in, adhigacchati, he attains, he reaches. So God says, after that, thus, after having followed all the instructions, Shuddhodesha Pratishthapya Sthiramasanamatmana Nati Chitannati Nichainjalayan Kushottaram Tatrekagram Manakrutva Yata Chittendriya Kriya Bhavishyasani Jadyogamatma Samangai Shurugiriram Dhairnanjalasira Samprekshanasya Agram Sandishashcha Navalokayan. All these steps have been followed. Thus, God says, constantly practicing yoga with a disciplined mind, Yunjanam Sadatmanam Yogi Niyatamanasah, the yogi attains supreme peace, Shanti Nirvana Paramam, Adhigacchati, the highest state of liberation and abiding in me, Mat Samstham. So this is what it happens when we follow the steps given by Yogeshwar Krishna in our day-to-day meditation. This is what we attain. Shloka 15 gives the result of entire meditation discipline that we have followed so far from previous shlokas. Notice the word sada. Very important, sada. आज किया कल नहीं किया ऐसा नहीं चलता है. Sada is continuously. You have to do it daily. Meditation is not something that produces transformation after sitting for 10 minutes once a week. People who say that I do yoga or I do meditation once a week and I find peace of mind, you can assume that they are not telling you the truth. Because 10 minutes yoga in a week does not give you anything, honestly. It requires regular practice. The disciplined mind gradually becomes, earlier it is restless, attentive, it becomes concentrated. When it becomes concentrated at God, Machitta, it becomes peaceful and then gets inwardly established. So this is the long process that we have to follow during meditation, during dhyan. And then ultimately the yogi attains Shanti, deep peace of mind. And Nirvanam Paramam, the supreme state of liberation. Shri Krishna describes this as Mat Samstham, abiding in him. Thus, meditation is not merely a technique for reducing our mental stress. Its ultimate purpose is spiritual transformation and union with the divine, union with Krishna. That is the objective of our meditation. So, Shloka 12 to 15, what we have studied so far, Shloka 12 asked us to prepare the mind, make the mind one-pointed, single-pointed. Shloka 13, we learned how to prepare the body, Samangai Shiruram Dharanchal Sira, keep the body, mind, and neck steady. In 14 Shloka, we learned how to prepare the inner life, become peaceful, fearless, disciplined, and God-centered. And in this last Shloka, we, the result of all these steps that we have followed, attain the supreme peace and liberation. In simple language, this shloka has been sit properly, become physically still, withdraw from distractions, calm the mind, control the desires, focus on the divine, practice regularly and attain the inner peace. As simple as that. You can write down the steps and put it on our refrigerator. On the fridge, we put a lot of stickers, no? Why not make a list of this and put on the refrigerator? So that going, we always go through this. That yoga means to sit properly, physically become still, withdraw from distractions, calm the mind, control the desires, focus on the divine, practice regularly, and then I will attain the inner peace. So when the steps are crystal clear in our mind, we never miss any step. And if we don't miss any step, then Paramatma guarantees inner peace. So for a family person like us, Krishna's teachings can be converted into a very simple daily practice. How? Let us do meditation on these 4 shlokas, 12 to 15, 4 shlokas. Sit quietly for 10 to 15 minutes. Choose a clean and quiet place. Shrirodeshe Pratisthapya. Keep the body steady. Samangai Shirogrivan. Spine reasonably straight. Head and neck aligned. Relax the body. Don't create unnecessary tension in the body. Choose one focus. Samangai Shirogrivan. Nasikagram. This was one focus. For example, the breath. You can focus on your breath. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. You can focus your mind on that inhaling and exhaling only. Or on the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Or the form of Krishna, which you like the most. Having a flute in his hand, having a good smile on his face. That's Krishna you can keep in your mind. Focus on that point. When the thoughts arise, do not fight with the thoughts. Notice them and gently return to the chosen focus, whatever you have chosen. Whether it is Nasikagram or that Krishna's photo or the breathing, inhaling, exhaling, wherever you have focused your mind, come back to that focus. When the thoughts come to your mind and distraction starts happening, then what to do? Bring the mind towards God. This is the essence of Mati Chitta. Practice regularly. Consistency is more important than long sessions. One day you sit for meditation for 2 hours, next day you don't do it or do it for 5 minutes. It makes no sense. End this practice with a few moments of silence and gratitude. So the key lesson for these 4 shlokas, 12 to 15, is therefore meditation is not merely sitting with closed eyes. It is the systematic training of body, senses, mind, and desires, so that the mind becomes peaceful, one-pointed, and ultimately established in the divine. And this connects beautifully with shlokas 5 and 6, which we have studied already. Uddharit-atmanatmananatmanusadet atmayatmanduratmayorvatma bandhuratmatmanasasya yenatmayatmanadhijta anatmanasashatrutve vartit-atmaiva shatruvat. So we are developing a good friend in us. The mind which could have been our worst enemy is getting converted slowly through this meditation in our best friend. Because we have to elevate ourselves by ourselves. That we have learned in 5th and 6th shloka. So the mind that was once upon a time your enemy has started becoming your greatest friend if you follow the steps of meditation from shloka 12 to 15 of this adhyaya, what we have discussed just now. Now this yoga is possible for whom and it is not possible for whom. God is giving that description also. Who can do yoga successfully and who cannot do yoga. Next shloka. Natnashnatastu yogosti chaikantamanashnatah nachati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Now is not. Atyashnata. One who eats excessively is atyashnata. Yoga, this yoga, asti, exists, is ekandam, excessively, completely. Anashnataha, one who does not eat at all or eats very, very little. Ati is excessive. Swapnashilasya, one who sleeps excessively is swapnashilasya. Jagrata, one who remains awake. Na eva, certainly not. So God says, Arjuna, yoga is not possible for one who eats too much or too little. Natnashnatasti yogosti. Sleeps excessively or remains awake excessively. आत्मनिष्ठस्य योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनिष्ठता न चातिस्वप्नशीलस्य जागृतो नैव चार्जुन. Balance is essential for spiritual progress. So you cannot eat too much or you cannot remain hungry. You cannot sleep excessively or you cannot remain awake excessively. Shri Krishna gives a very practical principle. Yoga requires balanced mind. किसी भी चीज की अति करना मति माती हो जाता है. मराठी में there is a saying that अति तेथे माती. That means if you do अति of anything, that becomes mati. It goes west. So a person who eats, he becomes physically uncomfortable and mentally dull. Someone who eats too little may become weak and restless. Similarly, excessive sleep can make the mind lethargic, while insufficient sleep makes it agitated and unable to concentrate. The important word here is ati, excess. Excess of anything is bad, God says. Shri Krishna is not advocating extreme austerity also. He is saying that the body, mind must be maintained in a condition suitable for meditation. If you eat too much, body will not be sitting for meditation. If you don't eat at all, even then body will become weak. If you don't sleep, body will become weak again. You will start sleeping during meditation. And if you sleep too much, then you become lazy. You don't feel like doing meditation at all. So excess of everything is bad. This principle applies far beyond the food and sleep. Excessive entertainment is bad. Excessive talking is bad. Excessive worrying is very bad. Excessive work and excessive attachment can all disturb the mind and can be a stumbling block in our meditation. Therefore, Gita's message is not renounce everything, it is avoid extremes. We'll study the slok Yukta Ahara Viharasya Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu Yukta Swapna Bodhasya Yoga Bhavati Dukkha. If you do everything in right proportion, avoiding extremes, live intelligently and moderately. For a householder like us, this is particularly important. Spiritual life does not require abandoning the normal responsibilities of life. Rather, one should bring discipline, moderation, awareness into ordinary life. Krishna doesn't say don't watch TV. Krishna doesn't say don't play cricket. Krishna doesn't say don't talk to your neighbors or don't get entertained. Do everything, but in right proportion. Don't do excess of anything. The main objective of life is becoming a yogi that should never go out of sight. The rest of the things you should do. Unless you play, unless you exercise, unless you sleep, unless you eat, how can you do yoga? So everything has to be done. Live your normal life. But yukta, that means it's in proper dimension, in proper proportions, proper balance. So the key lesson is a balanced body supports a balanced mind. Balanced body supports a balanced mind. And a balanced mind supports meditation. Ultimately, our objective is to do meditation. So for meditation, you need a balanced mind. For balanced mind, you need a balanced body. As simple as that. So the next shloka that says what we discussed just now, how to live then. नात्यश्री योगस्थि ने एकात्मनिष्ठता न चाहती स्वप्नशील से जागृतो नहीं विचार. ये समझ में आ गया, ठीक है. फिर क्या करने का? What should we do then? Do this. Next shloka. युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. Yukta means regulated, balanced. Ahar, food, our intake. Vihar, manoranjan, recreation, leisure time. Cheshta, our activity, our efforts. Karmasu, our karmas, our actions, our work. Swapna is sleep. Avabodha is waking. Yoga is yogi, that who's doing a yoga. Bhavati, to become. Dukkha, ha. Ha means remover. Of dukkha means sorrow. Remover, destroyer of sorrow. So Krishna Bhagavan says, for one who is moderate, yuktahar, yukta in ahar, food, yukta in vihar, recreation, yukta in karma, activities, work, yukta swapna, sleep, bodhasya, avabodhasya, in waking, yoga becomes the destroyer of sorrow. Extremes are not allowed by Bhagavad Gita. Don't become extremist. Rather, if you do too much of eating, not allowed. If you don't eat, not allowed. Keep a balance. Keep a balance. So this shloka expands the principle of moderation introduced in earlier shloka. Shri Krishna uses the word yukta. Yukta repeatedly has been used. Yukta harvyasya, yukta justice, yukta sonavada, yukta. Yukta is balanced. It means properly regulated, appropriate, and balanced. A spiritual devotee seeker does not need to reject food. People think that if I do fasting on Monday, on Tuesday, on Thursday, on Saturday, on Ekadashi day, on Pradosh day, then I will collect a lot of punya. God says, no boss, you're wrong. Why are you troubling your body so much? I wanted to focus on me, not on your fasting. Fasting is not a very adhyatmic kalpana. For maintaining your body, if you want to remain without food for a day, I can understand that. For body purpose, okay. But to say that I'm doing fasting and I'm doing spiritual sadhana, Gita doesn't accept this logic. So everything should be kept within healthy limits. Whether it is food, recreation, work, anything. Your sleep, your remaining awake. Think of life as a musical instrument. If a string is too tight, it may break, isn't it? If it is too loose, it produces no proper music. The correct tension produces the harmony. What is valid for a musical instrument is valid for meditation, is valid for yoga also. Similarly, too much work, it will exhaust you. Too little work will create laziness in you. Too much sleep will create dullness in you. Too little sleep will create restlessness in you. Too much entertainment will create distraction in your mind. And too little relaxation will keep your mind under tension all the time. So relaxation is a must. Don't hesitate to watch a movie in a week or in a month. Relaxation is a must. Of course, proper movie should be watched, not some Tom Dick Harry movie. Relaxation is a must. The goal is not pleasure or deprivation, but fitness for higher living. If by 1 hour entertainment, if you can collect enough energy to do meditation for 1 week, then it is an investment for that meditation. You should take the recreation as an investment for meditation. The final phrase is particularly significant. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. If you maintain yuktahar viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta supna bodhasya, ultimately, yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga becomes the destroyer of your sorrow. Your worries that I'm not able to do meditation will go away. You will be successful in doing meditation also. Why God says yoga bhavati dukkha? Because disciplined living reduces physical disturbance, while meditation reduces mental disturbance. Gradually, one learns that happiness does not depend entirely on external circumstances. It depends on how we live the life internally as well. So, too much excess of anything, God totally criticizes that idea. So those who are under the impression that more fasting is more adhyatmic is a wrong notion. Dispose it of. God doesn't agree with this. For a family person like us, this is highly practical suggestion from God, recommendation from God. One can pursue career. Gita doesn't say don't pursue your career. He can fulfill his family responsibilities. Of course, Gita says you should. He can enter into recreation. Gita says, of course, you should. And you should continue spiritual practice also. All these things can be done simultaneously. You can pursue your career, you can fulfill your family responsibilities, you can do recreation, you can do spiritual practice, provided there is balance and self-control. If you are given relaxation, that entertainment is allowed by Gita, and then you keep watching movie for the whole week, will it be what in cognizance with what Gita is recommending? Yukta hari viharasya. Balanced. Everything should be in balance. So the key lesson is moderation in daily life creates the conditions for mastery of the mind. Moderation is the key. Now let us do meditation on these two shlokas also, 16th and 17th. Shlokas 16 and 17 of this chapter, this adhyay, they give us a remarkably practical message. The path of meditation begins with balance in everyday life. Shri Krishna does not ask Arjuna to escape from ordinary life, nor is he asking us to escape from our ordinary life. Instead, he teaches that our food, our sleep, our work, our recreation, and our daily activities should be regulated. That's all he's asking. A disturbed lifestyle creates a disturbed mind, and a balanced lifestyle prepares the mind for yoga. He is preparing us for yoga. That's why he says Yuktahara Vyarasya. So this slok should again be written in bold letters in our house. Put it on your wall. Create a placard of this Yuktahara Vyarasya. So you will not feel guilty when you are doing your recreation. Read this shloka every day. Shloka 16 says that Natyashtu Yogastani Chakantamashta Nachati Swapna Shilasya Jagrata Naivacarjana. Avoid excesses, extremes. Shri Krishna says that yoga is not possible for one who eats excessively or hardly eats at all, who sleeps too much or who remains awake excessively. The word here is ati, is in excess. So even something normally good can become harmful when taken on extreme. As I said, extreme talking, excessive talking or excessive worrying or excessive entertainment, excessive working, excessive attachment, excessive ambition, or excessive use of technology is not recommended. We may therefore ask ourselves during meditation, where has excess entered my life? Perhaps we eat not because we are hungry, but because our mind seeks pleasure. जलेबी अच्छी लग रही है, सिर्फ इसलिए खा रहे हैं. You are not hungry. Perhaps we use our mobile phone not because we need it, but because we cannot tolerate a moment of silence. Every now and then to check message on WhatsApp or on Instagram or Facebook or on whatever not. This shows that you don't want to remain in silence even for a second. People cannot remain idle. I have seen people who go to crematorium, किसी को पहुंचाया जाते हैं स्मशान में, the fire is burning there and they are watching the mobile. We cannot remain silent even that time. That has become the nature of all of us these days. So perhaps we use our mobile only because we cannot tolerate a moment of silence in our life. Perhaps we continue worrying about a problem long after useful thinking has ended. खत्म हो गया, end हो गया, useful thinking, even then keep worrying. Krishna's message is not suppression, but self-regulation. Meditation begins when we learn to distinguish between what I need and what my restless mind demands. Restless minds keep demanding anything. But what do I really need? This we learn from Shlok 16. Shlok 17, the yoga of balance. Yukta Harivirasya Yukta Chasakanasu. So Krishna then gives the positive formula. Yukta Vihar Viharasya. One who is moderate in food and recreation. Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu. Moderate and disciplined in one's activities. Yukta Swapna Bodhasya. Balanced in sleep and waking. For such a person, Shri Krishna says, Yoga Bhavati Dukkhaha. Yoga becomes a destroyer of sorrow. This is a profound statement from Krishna. We often think that our unhappiness comes primarily from external circumstances. Krishna points out to us, he points out towards another possibility. An undisciplined mind magnifies our sufferings. Suppose two people express the same criticism. One thinks about it for 3 days, becomes angry, repeatedly relieves the incident in his mind. उसने ऐसा बोला था, that movie is going on his mind all the time. I looked at him like this, he looked at me like this, he said like that to me. That movie is constantly going on his mind for 3 days. The other reflects on it, thinks about it, learns whatever is useful and lets it go. हो गया, जाने दो. The external event is the same in both the cases, for both the persons. The difference is in the state of mind. Meditative reflection Sit quietly, ask, is my lifestyle creating peace or restlessness? Then observe without judgment, ask, do I know when enough is enough? What excess repeatedly disturbs my mind? Do I give myself enough silence? Is my daily routine supporting my spiritual growth? The Gita's wisdom is beautifully simple and easy to follow also. Eat with awareness, sleep with discipline, work sincerely, enjoy without attachment, rest without laziness, and live without excesses. When the outer life becomes balanced, the inner life gradually becomes peaceful. That is the formula. The core message of these two important shlokas of sixth Adhyay is that these shlokas teach us that meditation does not begin when we close our eyes. Closing eyes means meditation. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It begins with the way we live when our eyes are open. It begins the way we live when our eyes are open, not closed. Balance in life creates stability in mind, and stability in the mind creates foundation for yoga. Yoga gradually frees us from the sorrow. Yoga bhavati dukkha. That is why Shri Krishna's teaching is not merely a meditation technique. It is a complete art of balanced living. This therefore is called Atma Sanyam Yoga. It teaches us balance of living. It is not only teaching us the yoga practice. Okay, next sloka. When the mind becomes steady, what happens? God says, Yada vinay chittam atmanneva avadishthate nisprah sarvakameभ्यो yukta ityuchyate tada. Yada means when. Yada and tada, the always come in pair. Yada means when, tada means then. Yada, when, viniyatam, controlled, disciplined, chittam, the mind, atmani, in the self, eva, alone, indeed, avadishthate, remains firmly established, nispruha, free from desire, free from longing, sarva, all, kamebhya, desires, kamanas, yukta, united with yoga, iti, thus, in this manner, uchyate is called. Krishna Bhagavan says, when the disciplined mind becomes firmly established in the self, Yada vinay chittam atmanyeva avadishthate, this is the first line, and one becomes free from longing for worldly desires, nispruha sarva kamebhyo, क्या होता है फिर? युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा. That person is said to be established in yoga. So if you want to be a yogi, then these two things we have to keep in mind. That our mind has to be disciplined, well established in ourselves, and we should be free from kamanas, longing for worldly desires. Then we can establish in yoga. Here Shri Krishna describes the inner result of successful meditation. The mind normally moves towards outside objects, materialistic objects. I want this. I need that. I must have more and more. Why does he have what I don't have? This is normally the thing. मेरे पड़ोसी के पास में है, मेरे पास क्यों नहीं है? Shri Krishna does not say that a person must stop performing duties or stop enjoying legitimate things in life. The deeper teaching is to become nispruha, free from excessive longing. There is an important distinction between need and craving. A person may work for money because the family needs it. But when the money becomes the measure for one's worth, the mind loses the freedom. A person may enjoy appreciation, but if one's happiness depends completely on praise only, the mind becomes a slave to others. Therefore, yoga means gradually moving from I must have this to be happy, from this thought to I can remain peaceful whether I obtain it or not. The phrase Atman Devavatisthate is the heart of this shloka. The mind becomes established in the self rather than constantly seeking fulfillment in the outside world. So the key lesson for us is mastery of the mind is achieved not by suppressing every desire, but by becoming inwardly complete enough that desires no longer control you. Having desire is not wrong. Nobody can be without desire. But desire should not control you. That if the desire is not fulfilled, then I will never be happy. That kind of bonding God doesn't recommend. If you want to be a yogi or you want to sit for meditation, this thought has to be changed. I can remain peaceful whether I obtain this or not. The thought should become our habit. Next loka, God is giving an example now of steady mind. How the mind should be steady? Yatha deepo nivatastho ningate sopama sprata yogino yita chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. As a lamp in windless place does not flicker, so the disciplined mind of a yogi absorbed in meditation on the self. So this is one of the most beautiful metaphors in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna compares the disciplined mind to a lamp protected from the wind. Imagine a small flame in a room where there is constant wind. The flame flickers continuously. It cannot remain steady. Now imagine the same lamp in a completely protected place. The flame becomes steady. The ordinary mind is like the first flame. Every external stimulus creates movement. Sound creates thought. Sight creates desire. Memory creates emotion. Criticism creates anger. Success creates excitement. Failure creates disappointment. The yogi gradually creates an inner windless space. When he is free from all this, importantly, Shri Krishna does not say that the world must become windless. The wind will definitely come in life. In the room also the wind has to be there, isn't it? The world will always contain praise and criticism. Yes, it will always. It will always create success and failure. It will always have gains and loss. It will always have pleasure and pain. The yogi learns to create stability within himself, irrespective of whether it is gain or loss, pleasure or pain, praise or criticism, or success or failure. This is the real meaning of mental mastery. A steady mind does not mean a lifeless mind. It means a mind that is alert, peaceful, and not easily pushed around by circumstances. So the key lesson for us is you cannot stop the wind of life, but you can protect the flame of your mind from being blown out by those wind of life. Next loka. What is the joy of inner realization? How do we get that? Yatro paramate chittan niruddhan yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pasyannatmani dushyati. What says? When the disciplined mind becomes quiet through the practice of yoga, the yogi experiences the self through the self and finds the deep satisfaction within the self. So अपने आप होने लगता है. You don't need any outside help also. This loka takes us to a deeper level now. At first, meditation is an effort that I must concentrate. Then mind becomes calmer. Eventually, when there comes a state during meditation when the mind naturally becomes quiet and inward. The phrase yatra upamarote chittam means that the mind becomes still or withdraws from its constant outward movement. Then comes something even more profound. Atmanam atmana pashyan. The self is experienced through the self. You start reading yourself by yourself. For that, you have to start moving inward. So long before doing meditation, all our indriyas were working for the outside world. Now we are directing all the indriyas to inside world, inner world. So that is the way Atmana Atman Pashyan. The self is experienced through the self. This is not merely intellectual knowledge. It is an inner realization. Normally we seek happiness through external objects. When I get this, I'll be happy. But external happiness, as we know after reading Gita, is temporary because the object changes or it disappears also. The yogi discovers a deeper source of contentment that does not depend entirely upon external circumstances. Atmani tushyati. The person becomes satisfied within himself by himself. This does not mean becoming indifferent to family or to society. Rather, one becomes less dependent on external events for inner happiness. This is the beginning of journey in Atma Trupti, inner fulfillment. So the happiness, the highest happiness rather, is not something acquired from outside. It is discovered when the restless mind becomes quiet enough to experience the deeper self within. So these 5 shlokas what you have studied, 16 to 20, these 5 shlokas form a beautiful progression. You see the thoughts expressed by God in these shlokas. 16 shlokas said, avoid extremes. Nothing to all that. 17 shloka said, Yuktahara Virasya, live a balanced life. 18 shloka said, discipline and steady the mind. 19 shloka said, make the mind like windless lamp. And 20th shloka, discover inner peace and fulfillment. So in one sentence, Shri Krishna teaches that meditation begins with moderation in everyday life, develops through discipline control of the mind, becomes steady like a lamp protected from wind, and ultimately leads to the discovery of lasting inner fulfillment, Atmatushrati. This is especially relevant to our householder's life. The Gita does not demand escape from ordinary responsibilities. It teaches us to live in the world without allowing the world to constantly disturb our inner balance. Next loka, the joy beyond senses is experienced when you are becoming expert in dhyana, meditation. Sugamatyattikam yat tad buddhigrahyamatīndriyam vettiyatra na chaivayam siddhaschaladatpadaha. In that state of yoga, the yogi experiences supreme, limitless happiness, which is beyond the senses, but can be understood through the purified intellect. Having attained that state, one does not move away from the ultimate truth. Sukham, that happiness, that bliss, atyantikam, supreme, limitless, absolute, yet which, tat, that, buddhigrahyam, grasped or understood by the senses, intellect, atindriyam, beyond senses, vetti, knowledge, knows, experiences, yatra, where, in which state, sthita, established, chalati, it moves away or becomes disturbed, tatvataha, from the truth, from the reality. So God says, in that state of yoga, the yogi experiences supreme, limitless happiness, which is beyond the senses. Atindriyam, but can be understood through the purified intellect. Buddhigrahya. Having attained that state, one does not move away from the ultimate truth. Vetyatran chevam chalati tatpataha. So this shloka, Shri Krishna now describes the happiness fundamentally different from ordinary pleasure. We mix up these two things. Pleasure, we consider pleasure is happiness. God says no, there is a difference in pleasure and happiness. Sensory pleasures depend upon an external object. Good food gives you pleasure. Good music gives you pleasure. Praise gives you pleasure. Success gives you pleasure. Okay. But these experiences are temporary. When the object disappears, the pleasure also changes. The happiness described here is Atyantikam Sukham, supreme and lasting happiness. It is Atindriyam, beyond the senses. This does not mean that the yogi experiences something that can be physically touched or seen. It is an inner state of fulfillment, discovered when the mind becomes quiet and established in the self. The purified intellect recognizes that our deepest identity is not dependent upon constantly changing external circumstances. The day we have this knowledge of ourselves, that our identity is not dependent upon constantly changing external circumstances, we have become expert in yoga. The important phrase is na chaiva ayam sthiti chalati tatvataha. Once established in the truth, Which truth? This truth, which we said just now. The yogi does not easily fall back into the old identification with temporary pleasures. He knows what is happiness now. So the deepest happiness is not obtained through the senses, it is discovered when the mind becomes peaceful and established in the self. Next sloka. Nothing greater remains to be obtained when we get Sukhamati Kanyadad Buddhi Dharamatidriyam. God says, Yallabhva chaparallabham manyade natikam tataha yasme sidora dukkhena gurna api vichalyate. Having attained that state of mind, the yogi considers no other gain greater than that. Established in it, he is not shaken even by the greatest sorrow. Guruna api vichalyate. Gurun is something great. Great sorrow also cannot shake him, na vichalyate. So God says, now this sloka describes the security of our inner fulfillment. Ordinary life is often based on the search for the next achievement. If I get this job, I'll be happy. If I get more money, I'll be secured. If my children succeed, I'll be satisfied. If people appreciate me, I will feel fulfilled. But every achievement creates another desire. Krishna says that self-realization is different than this. Having discovered the deeper source of fulfillment within, the yogi starts saying, there is no greater gain than this. सुखमाते कहीं यद तक मिल गया तो बाकी कुछ गेन करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. This does not mean that the yogi stops performing duties or loses interest in life. Rather, external achievements no longer determine his inner worth. The second part is even more powerful of this shloka. The dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Even great sorrows cannot shake such a person. Many examples can be quoted. We don't have that much time, but there are people who have lived this shloka. Great sorrows have struck them in life, but no vichalyate. They did not get shaken. So this does not mean that the realized person never feels sadness. He also feels sad, of course. Rather, sorrow does not completely destroy his inner stability. Life may bring illness, loss, disappointment, separation from the near and dear ones, failure, or criticism. But beneath the changing experiences remains an unshaken inner center. That no vichalyate. Though disturb nahi hota hai. So the greatest achievement is not possessing everything. It is reaching a state where you no longer depend upon possessions and circumstances for the inner peace. Next sloka. Yoga. How does it give freedom from sorrow? Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga vyoga yoga sanchitam sanischena yoktavya yogo nirvinna chetasa. Know that yoga to be the disconnection from union with sorrow. This yoga must be practiced with determination and without losing heart. Nirvinna chetasa. So God says, now this sloka gives one of the most profound definition of yoga. What is yoga? Dukkha sanyoga yoga. Yoga means separation from our attachment to sorrow. That is yoga. We cannot completely prevent painful experiences in life. Life inevitably contains pleasure and pain, gain and loss, union and separation. It does happen. So what does Krishna mean by separation from sorrow? When he says, Dukkha sanyoga yoga, ये वियोग दुख से कैसा होता है? By yoga. Consider this distinction. Pain is an experience. Suffering is often our mental relationship with that experience, isn't it? For example, someone may lose something valuable. The initial pain is natural. Yes, सबको बुरा लगेगा, दुख होगा. But mind may continue saying, why me? मेरे बारे में ऐसा क्यों हो गया? My life is ruined now. This should have never happened to me. I can never be happy again in my life with this thing happening in my life. The mind then repeatedly recreates that suffering. Yoga teaches us to change our relationship with such experiences. Krishna also says, Sanishchayena yoktavya. Practice with determination. Spiritual progress requires persistence and anirvinna chetasa. Without becoming discouraged, the mind will wander, old habits will return. Meditation may sometimes feel difficult, but that is not failure. Every time we calmly return to the path, we strengthen the mind that despite these challenges, I have restarted my meditation. That makes you more strong. Yoga does not promise a life without difficulties. You're sitting for dhyan and you'll never get any sorrowful incident in your life. That never happens. It teaches us how not to become psychologically imprisoned by those difficulties. टूटना नहीं हमको जिंदगी में बिकॉज ऑफ एनी सॉरो, न विचार लेते रहना है. नेक्स्ट श्लोक, रिनाउंसिंग द डिजायर्स. संकल्प प्रभवन कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनस्सेवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनेम्य समन्ततः. Giving up completely all desires born out of mental imagination and controlling the entire group of senses, indriyagram, through the mind, one should practice yoga. So Krishna now explains how the mind can become free. He identifies a chain of events. Thought comes, thought gets converted into imagination, imagination gets converted into desire, desire creates attachment, and attachment creates disturbance. For example, if only I had that car becomes, this was what? This was a thought. Then it becomes imagination. I must have that car. This becomes finally kamana. I must have that car. Then why does not my life have what others have? It becomes stronger. Huh? The original thought has now become a source of dissatisfaction. When you start thinking, initially you are thinking, if only I had this car. Okay, yahan tak granted hai. But when it gets to that level, why does not my life have what others have? That means you have found a source for getting dissatisfied in the life. The word sankalpa here refers to mental projections and imaginations that generate desires. Shri Krishna therefore advises us to recognize these thoughts before they become powerful desires. This does not mean that we should eliminate every practical goal of life. A person can have goal in the life. I want to improve my health, very good. I want to help my family, okay, fine, very good. I want to learn something new, excellent, do it. These are different from compulsive cravings that say, I cannot be happy unless I get this. The second instruction is to regulate the senses through the mind. The senses constantly bring objects to our attention. But the mind must learn to say, I see it, but I don't have to possess it. I see a lot of advertisements on TV. I see how people become happy in those advertisements after obtaining that particular item, gadget in their life. So you can say, I see this, but I don't have to possess it. I hear criticism, but I don't have to react to this criticism. I experience the desire, but I don't have to obey it. This is the genuine self-mastery. If we can do this, then we can say we have achieved self-mastery. So the key lesson for us is freedom begins when we can observe a desire without automatically converting it into an action. Desire सबको होता है. Those who can control and do not go to the extent of converting into an action, they are successful in life. Next sloka. How the yoga should be attained. Step by step. Step by step, the stillness of mind comes. God says, don't be in a hurry. Shanai shanai parmed buddhya dhritigruhitaya atmasastam manakartva na kinchida vijintayet. Gradually, shanai shanai. Gradually, little by little. Step by step, with a firm and patient intellect, one should bring the mind to stillness. Establish it in the self and not allow it to wander into unnecessary thoughts. So this process should be done shanai shanai, step by step, little by little. The word shanai shanai, gradually are extremely important here. Shri Krishna does not say immediately stop all thoughts. This is my order. I am God. I am asking you to stop all thoughts. He would have said that. He said no. Shane, little by little, gradually. He understands the nature of human mind. The mind has been wandering for years. It cannot become perfectly still in one meditation session. Therefore, progress must be gradual and patient. A thought comes, notice it. Do not fight with that thought. Do not follow that thought also. Gently return the mind to the chosen object of meditation. ये तरीका है to keep the mind free from those disturbances. Again it wanders. Again return it. This simple process may happen hundreds of times. This is not failure. This is our training. This is not failure of meditation. This is our training of meditation. The intellect or buddhi must support the process of dhriti. Dhriti is the firmness of our intellect. Firmness and perseverance is dhriti. Eventually the mind becomes increasingly established in the self. When we keep bringing back the mind again and again to that particular object where our focus is, the mind finally surrenders. It says, "Ye banda sun nahi raha abhi. I have to surrender now." It comes to that place. The final phrase, "Na kinchadapi chintayet," should not be misunderstood as an instruction to forcefully suppress every thought that comes to your mind. It points towards a state in which unnecessary mental activity has subsided and consciousness rests peacefully in itself. So do not try to conquer the mind in one day. आज गीता सुनी, ध्यान लगाने बैठ गए and I have won over my mind. It never happens. Bring it back gently, patiently and repeatedly. Shane. Gradual practice transforms a restless mind into a peaceful mind. So the journey that we have traveled from Shlok 21 to 25, these 5 shlokas form a remarkable progression again. Shlok 21 taught us discover higher happiness. Shlok 22, find the greatest gain. Become free from bondage to sorrow. Then Shlok 24, regulate desire and senses. Shlok 25, gradually, shane, gradually establish the mind in the self. The practical message for us is, do not chase happiness outside yourself. One thing. Second, regulate your life, understand your desires, discipline your senses, and patiently train your mind. As the mind becomes quiet, you discover an inner source of happiness that circumstances cannot easily take away. This is the heart of Dhyan Yoga. What we spoke just now, this is the heart of Dhyan Yoga. Next shloka. Now, bringing the mind that keeps going away from the place of yoga, God says, Yado nischarati manaschañjalam asthiram tadastadonyamyedat atmanneva vashannayet. Wherever the restless mind and unstable mind wanders, one should bring it back from there and repeatedly place it under the control of self. Yato nischarati, wherever, from wherever. Nischarati wanders, moves away. Mana, our mind, chanchalam, restless, fickle mind, asthiram, unstable, tata, from there, each time, niyamya, restraining, bringing it under control, atmani, in the self, vasham, to control, nayet, should bring. God says, this is one of the, this shloka, God says that wherever your mind goes during meditation, whenever the restless and unstable mind goes, one should bring it back from there and repeatedly place it under the control of self. So this is one of the most practical instructions in entire Bhagavad-Gītā. Yato nishyati manaschañjalam tastanyamyedat atmanevashanayet. Shri Krishna does not pretend that the mind will remain concentrated during meditation. He knows mind will not. So he's not asking us to do something impossible. He's not asking us to to keep our mind concentrated during meditation. He accepts that the mind is naturally chanchalam, restless. You sit down to meditate and decide to focus on the breath, inhaling and exhaling breath, or on a mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Within seconds, the thought will come, what should I do tomorrow? Then I must call someone. Then, why did he say that yesterday to me? And perhaps an old memory appears in the mind for no reason. Krishna's solution is wonderfully simple. Bring it back. बाकी कुछ नहीं करना है. Why did he say yesterday to me? Okay, bring it back. Don't argue. Bring it back. Do not become angry with the mind that why mind is thinking like this when I'm sitting for meditation. Bring it back. This is a mantra. Bring it back. Do not say I'm a bad meditator. Do not abandon the meditation. Simply notice my mind has wandered and Krishna has said, bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Then gently return your chosen focus. This may happen 10 times, 15 times, 100 times. Every return is an act of self-mastery. The phrase yata yata, wherever, wherever, indicates that the instruction applies to every kind of distraction. The mind may wander through desires, through fear, through anger, through memories, through plans, through worries, or through fantasies. Mind loves to do fantasies, isn't it? Each time bring it back. Meditation is not the absence of wandering thoughts. It is the repeated practice of bringing the wandering mind back. That is meditation. Next sloka. The supreme peace that the yogi enjoys, God says, Prashantamasam yenai yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarasam brahmabhutama kalmasham. Supreme happiness comes to the yogi whose mind is completely peaceful, whose passion and agitation have subsided, who is free from impurities and established in Parabrahma. So God says, after explaining how the mind should repeatedly be brought back, Yato yato nishyati manaschanchalvasthiram tad swanimet atmanivashanet, earlier shloka. Now Krishna describes the result of such practice. When you become expert in following this mantra of bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, you become strong follower of this mantra and you are successfully bringing it back, then what happens? He describes the results of such practice. The first quality is prashanta manasam, a completely peaceful mind. The ordinary mind is driven by rajas, that is by activity, by ambition, by desires, excitement or restlessness. When the rajas dominates, we constantly feel, I must do something. I must get something. I must prove myself. The mind rarely rests in that case. Through meditation and disciplined living, this inner agitation gradually starts decreasing. Then Krishna says the yogi experiences sukham uttamam, supreme happiness, uttam sukh. Not uttam, uttamam, best of best. This happiness is not dependent on entertainment or positions or praise. It comes from inner clarity and inner freedom. The word Brahma Bhutam is particularly significant in this shloka. The yogi begins to live with the awareness of the deeper spiritual reality that is Brahma, Parabrahma within us. So the famous saying Aham Brahmasmi that has started slightly clicking to that mind, to that yogi. Brahma Bhutam. Akalmasham means free from inner impurities of selfishness, hatred, excessive attachment, destructive desires. Akalmasham. Important point is that this transformation is gradual. Meditation does not magically remove every weakness. Regular practice gradually purifies the mind, that is for sure. So when desires and agitations decrease in our mind, inner peace increases obviously. And when the mind becomes peaceful, the deeper happiness begins to reveal our inner self. आत्मज्ञान होने की शुरुआत है ये. What happens next? We constantly start experiencing this Brahmic bliss within ourselves. God says, Yunjanyam sada atmani yogi vidakalmashaha sukhena brahma sansparsham attantam sugamashnute. Thus, constantly practicing yoga, the yogi becomes free from impurities and experiences the supreme happiness arising from contact with Parabrahma. He has established contact with Parabrahma now. So the key word in this shloka is sada, continuously. Shri Krishna emphasizes that yoga is not merely a temporary activity. A person may meditate for 15 minutes every morning, but the real transformation occurs when the awareness cultivated during meditation gradually enters the whole daily life. 15 minutes is a time when you take the medicine, but the effect of that medicine should spread over the entire day. The yogi becomes Vigata Kalmashaha, free from inner impurities. This purification happens as one gradually reduces selfishness, uncontrolled desires, anger, jealousy, excessive attachment, and ego-driven reactions. The result is Brahma Sansparsham, contact or experience of Parabrahma. That is the experience he gets. This does not mean physical contact with Parabrahma. Brahma is not an object that can be touched by us. Sansparsham is not touch. It means an inner experience or realization of the supreme reality within himself. Krishna calls this Atyantam Sukham. इससे बड़ा सुख हो सकता है क्या? Supreme and boundless happiness. Ordinary pleasure comes and goes. Gain gives pleasure. Pleasure may lead to loss. Loss will lead to sadness. This cycle goes on. But spiritual happiness is deeper because it does not depend entirely upon changing external circumstances. For a householder like us, this teaching is particularly very valuable. One need not abandon family, work, or his responsibility. One can perform them while gradually cultivating an inner connection with the divine. ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम का अनुभूति लेना चाहिए through ध्यान. Continue to do your family responsibilities. No one stops you from doing that. So the key lesson is regular yoga practice purifies the mind and gradually reveals a happiness that is deeper than the sensory pleasure and less dependent on external circumstances. Next shloka. Now seeing the self in all beings, that becomes your habit when you become Brahma Sansparsha. Sarvabhutastam atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. The yogi who is united with yoga, he sees self present in all beings. सब में स्वयं को देखने लगता है. And all beings existing in the self. You start seeing all of them in himself. Such a person sees everything with equality. Sarvatra samadarshanaha. So here Shri Krishna takes meditation to a much higher level. Meditation is no longer merely, I want peace for myself. The yogi's vision is expanding now. He begins to see the same spiritual essence in all the beings. This is samadarshanaha, equal vision. It does not mean that everyone behaves identical or that we should ignore practical differences between everyone. The teacher may treat a child differently from an adult, yes. A doctor treats different illnesses differently, yes. Society must distinguish between right and wrong, of course, yes. But at the deepest spiritual level, the yogi recognizes everything, every living being has the same divine essence. This transforms our relationships. If we genuinely see the divine presence in others, how can we deliberately hate, humiliate, or exploit them? Compassion becomes natural for us then. The teaching therefore moves from meditation to universal love. The spiritual person, he does not merely close his eyes and sees God within. He eventually opens his eyes and sees the God everywhere. Sarvabhutasmatmanam, सब जगह दिखने लगता है God. During meditation, you close your eyes and start feeling the God within yourself. But the height of meditation, you open your eyes and you start seeing the same God everywhere. So the key lesson is true meditation changes the way we see other people. Not during meditation, but even after meditation. From objects of comparison, to expressions of the same divine reality. Next shloka, we see Krishna everywhere then. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvaichame pashyati tasya hanna pranashyami sachavena pranashyati. God's promise now. God says, one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me is never separated from me. And I am never separated from that person. Mutual relationship हो गया हमारा भी. He never becomes separate from me, and I also never become separate from him. What more we want? God says this to us. This is one of the highest teaching of this adhyaya. Yumam Pacharvata Samichamashvati Sasyanu Pranashami Sachavena Pranashati. This is the greatest teaching of this adhyaya, Atma Samyam Yoga. Shri Krishna says that the mature yogi sees divine everywhere. This is not merely an intellectual belief. It is the transformation of vision. Instead of dividing the world into me and others, mine and yours, friend and enemy, superior and inferior, the yogi gradually develops the vision. The same divine reality is present everywhere. When this vision becomes stable, one's relationship with God changes completely. God is no longer confined to a temple or to an image or to a ritual or a particular time of prayer only. The divine is recognized in family members, in strangers, in nature, in every living being, and ultimately throughout the existence. Tasya hanna pranashyami means that such a person is never separated from Krishna. Krishna says, मैं कभी छोड़ता नहीं है इस आदमी को. This is because the remembrance of divine becomes continuous for him. Not merely something practiced during meditation, but continuous process. So the practical reflection for us is, before reacting angrily to someone, pause, take a pause and ask, can I see the divine presence even in that person? That question can transform our response. So the highest meditation culminates not in escaping from the world, but in seeing the divine in the entire world. That is the result of meditation. So these 5 shlokas where we have studied, 26 to 30, these 5 shlokas again show a beautiful progression of thoughts. 26 shloka, God says, bring the wandering mind back. Yato yato nishyarati. 27 shloka, we learned experiencing the inner peace. 28 shloka, experience deeper spiritual happiness then. 29 shloka, we start seeing self in all beings. And 30 shloka, we start seeing Krishna everywhere. And Krishna says, I am never separate from him, and I never separate myself from him and he from me. So meditation begins by mastering our wandering mind, deepens into inner peace and spiritual joy, and ultimately transforms our vision to completely see that we see the divine in ourselves, in others, and in throughout the creation. Next shloka. The yogi who sees the divine everywhere, what happens? Sarvabhutasya yomam bhajate katpamastah sarvha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. The yogi who worships me, knowing me as present in all beings and established in the vision of oneness, he remains united with me, whatever his external circumstances may be. Sarvha vartamanopi. So yogi mai vartate. He keeps doing his normal activities. So this shloka continues the profound teaching of earlier shloka, 30th shloka. A true yogi does not see God during only meditation, or during prayer, or during temple visit, or temple worship. He recognizes the divine presence in all beings at all times. The phrase ekatvam asthitaha means being established in the vision of oneness. This does not mean that all people have identical personalities, abilities, or responsibilities. Rather, beneath these differences lies the same divine consciousness. This changes the way we behave. If we see the divine in another person, we naturally become more respectful and compassionate towards him. Service to others becomes a form of worship for us. The phrase Sarvatham Vartamanopi is particularly beautiful in this shloka. Even while living and functioning in the world in various ways, Sarvatha Vartamanopi, जो भी कर रहा है जिंदगी में वो, a person did not withdraw from family or his profession or from the society to remain connected with the God. God says, कुछ भी करता हो. A parent caring for the child or a professional doing some honest work or an elderly person helping others can all live in yoga when their consciousness is rooted in the divine. God says, you remain connected with me. Then you keep doing anything. No problem. So spirituality is not about escaping from life. It is about living ordinary life with an extraordinary vision of the divine presence in everyone. That is spirituality. We'll take one more shloka and close the session for the day. This is a very important shloka, incidentally. God says, seeing others in oneself. Atmopamena sarvatra samam pashyati orjana sukham vaidya dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Many scholars say that this is the best shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Atmopamena. Arjuna, the highest yogi is one who sees all beings with equal vision, judging their happiness and suffering as he would his own. In English we say, they put themselves in other fellow's shoes. This shloka gives a practical test of spiritual maturity. Atmopamena means looking at others as we would look at ourselves. We know what makes us happy. We know what causes us pain. We do not want to be insulted, to be cheated, to be humiliated, or to be hurt. Therefore, the yogi naturally asks, if I do not want this suffering for myself, why should I cause it to others? This is the foundation of compassion and empathy. Imagine two people arguing, each is thinking, I am right, the other person is wrong. The yogic approach introduces another question. He says, what is the other person experiencing? When I say I am right, he is wrong, what he is experiencing when I am saying you are wrong? That is the yogic approach. This does not mean accepting wrong behavior or abandoning the justice. One can oppose wrongdoing while still recognizing the humility of the wrongdoer. The humility in him we should recognize. This principle can transform our family relationships. Before speaking harshly to spouse or to child or to a friend, pause and ask, if someone spoke these words to me, how would I feel? You get angry with your spouse, why she spoke like this to me, or why he spoke to me like this? Put yourself in her condition, in her position, and ask this question to yourself. If you are spoken these words by someone else, how will you take it? The moment this awareness comes, it can prevent unnecessary suffering and future further complications. Shri Krishna calls such a person Parama Yogi. He is the highest yogi. Who follows this principle of Atma Pamena Sarvata Sampashita he is the highest yogi. The highest spiritual achievement is therefore not merely having mystical experiences, yogic experiences. It is developing equal vision, empathy, and compassion. So the measure of spiritual progress is not how peacefully we meditate alone, but how compassionately we treat others. That is meditation. Now let us address one important question for today's session, how to master our restless mind. After discussing so much about this Atma Sanyam Yoga, we'll discuss this and close the issue for today. So these shlokas, what we have learned so far, they provide a remarkably practical guide to mastering our restless mind. All this discussion that we had today. Shri Krishna does not promise that the mind will become quiet immediately if you follow my steps. Instead, he teaches discipline, practice, detachment, meditation, and right living. He says, begin the life with self-discipline. Shri Krishna first explains that true renunciation is not running away from responsibilities. One must perform one's duty without being excessively attached to the result. The restless mind becomes stronger when it constantly asks, what will I get? Instead of that, ask, what is the right thing for me to do? This shift from reward to responsibility is the first step towards mental mastery. Second step, make your mind your friend. Same Uddaridatma Manam, slok number 5 and 6, what we have learned. One of the most important teaching of Bhagavad Gita is this slok, Uddaridatma Manam. Let a person elevate himself by himself. The same mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. A trained mind tells you, stay calm, think before reacting, do what is right. An uncontrolled mind says, react immediately. Worry about it tomorrow. Kal dikha jayega. Remember yesterday's insult and talk the ways ko. Compare yourself with others. This is what the restless mind says, uncontrolled mind says. Therefore, master the mind before it masters you. Third thing, create the right environment. Shri Krishna recommends a disciplined approach to meditation, a clean and suitable place, a steady posture, controlled senses, and focused mind. This we learned all the shlokas. For modern life, this teaching creates periods of digital silence for us. This is the most disturbing factor these days. Every 15-20 minutes without mobile notification, television, social media, unnecessary conversations. It can gradually train the mind to remain quiet. So this is also required for mental mastery. Control over digital disturbances. Regulate your lifestyle. Krishna gives a surprisingly modern principle. Yukta har viharas yukta chastasakaro. Sab karo aap, but yukta. Balanced. Moderation. Moderation is essential. Neither too much nor too little is the mantra God gives in this Yukta har viharasya. This applies to our food, to our sleep, to our work, to our entertainment, to our exercise, to our social activity. An exhausted or overstimulated mind cannot easily become peaceful. Next, God says, practice concentration. Meditation means repeatedly bringing the wandering mind back to one's chosen path. Yato Vito Nishyati Manasyanjalasthram, this look we have studied today, the mind will wander. That is normal. The important point is, do not become frustrated when the mind wanders. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back is the mantra we have learned today. So let us follow this mantra from tomorrow. Bring it back again and again and again. This repeated return is itself mental training. Like strengthening a muscle, every return strengthens the concentration. This is an exercise in mental mastery. Yato Yato Nishyati. Then God says, use abhyas and vairagya. In 24th, 26th sloka, we learned this. Abhyas and konti vairagya jagriyate. So abhyas is practice. Train your mind repeatedly, and vairagya is detachment. Do not run after every thought and desire. Is vairagya. When a thought arises, I must have this. Observe that thought. Don't respond. You don't have to obey it. When anger arises, I am angry. Observe it rather than immediately acting on it. The mind gradually learns that I can experience a thought without becoming its servant. That is the way to master the mind. Becoming sakshi of your thoughts. Develop equanimity. This we learned. As the mind becomes peaceful, one develops a broader vision in life. The yogi begins to see others with empathy and equality. Instead of only my happiness matters, the mind moves towards just as I want happiness and freedom from suffering, others also want that only. Atma Bambina Sarvatra, we learned it. So this transformation of mind from self-centeredness to compassion is the mastery of self-mastery of mind. So the ultimate formula for mastering the mind is right living leads to moderation, moderation leads to self-discipline, self-discipline leads to meditation, meditation leads to abhyas, repeated practice, yato yato nishyati and all. It leads to vairagya, detachment. Vairagya leads to concentration. Concentration leads us to equanimity, and equanimity leads us to mastery of mind. So Gita does not say that stop thinking. It teaches, learn not to be controlled by your thoughts. Thoughts will come to your mind, but learn not to be controlled by those thoughts. The mind may remain restless initially. This is not failure of you. Every time you notice that the mind has wandered, gently bring it back. You have already won a small victory over your mind. You are successful in bringing it back, bringing it back, bringing it back. Ultimately, a restless mind says, I want. A trained mind will say, what is right? A peaceful mind says, I am content with what I have. And the deepest mastery comes when the mind becomes your servant, your instrument, and your friend, not your master. That is the way we should make self-mastery over our mind. Thank you so much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Now the forum is open for you to raise your questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Vaidya, for that wonderful teaching of Atma Sanyam Yoga. And you did it so simply and with such clarity. It was as if so relevant to today's life. Truly, this was 101 of art of balanced living. Truly, Vaidya. Moderation, discipline, detachment, and the mastery of the mind leading to see Bhagwan in all beings. And Sadhaks, the 50th L1 Learngeeta batch is all set to begin on the 16th of October. Let us make Geeta a part of every home and in every hand a reality by inviting our family and friends to begin their Geeta journey with Learngeeta. Registration is now open on joingeeta.com. And now we invite you to ask your questions to Vikasji by raising your hand, and if possible, switch on your video camera. Those joining on YouTube or Facebook may also participate by joining the Zoom session, and for which the link is shared in the chat box. So I think we have the first question from Yudhishthir Pandey Bhaiya. Bhaiya, please ask.
Wow, very good name, Yudhishthir.
Because
Whatever the
Vaidya,
question on Gita from Yudhishthir.
thank you so much for nice
Thank you.
explanation. Let me first make a comment. The
Yeah.
way you have explained the slokas, I
Yeah.
think when you are reading ourselves and trying to understand from the book, it is difficult how to connect with the actual life. The way you have explained it, it become, I think, easier to connect with the daily life. And probably, if you can do that, I think this entire life will get transformed. So thank you so much for this particular this thing. I have another
you.
question.
Yeah.
I have another question, of course, not from this chapter. See, there are a lot of things particularly in chapter 3, it talks of yajna, sacrifices.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those things were relevant in a time earlier, but now at this life, how can it
Yes.
be so relevant? Is it connected to the actual sacrifice, the rituals, or in our daily life we can practice it?
Yeah, good question. See, in today's context, Bhagavad Gita says yajna means fulfilling your prescribed duty is a yajna. Every day we perform many yajnas, knowingly or unknowingly. Serving our own parents, for us, it is a yajna. To help
Okay.
our needy neighbors is a yajna. To take care of our family, our spouse, our children, to provide them a good living is a yajna. For children, to study sincerely and fulfill the desires of their parents that they should do well in their studies is a yajna for them. So everything that we do as our kartavya karma, Gita treats as you are doing your yajna. So
Correct,
daily we
correct.
should perform this yajna, but without expecting anything in return. You are serving your parents, but if you are expecting that they will write their property in my name, that's why I'll give them service, then it is not a yajna. It is not a nishkam yajna.
Yes, yes. No, thank you
So-
so much. Actually, this was bothering me for a long time. And you have rightly said that kartavya karma, and everybody
Yeah.
has a kartavya, the duty.
Yes.
I think that is very nice. And another thing, if you can permit, this sankalpa in sloka number 23, I think.
Yeah, Sankalpavan Kamantakta Parani Sheshata, yes.
Sankalpa is it the literal meaning is promise or some
No.
determination? So how
Sankalpa
do
means a thought. Sankalpa is the first version of your kamana, your desire. Sankalpa,
Okay.
a thought comes to your mind. As I said, what if I have this car? Is a sankalpa. It has
Okay.
not taken
Okay.
a deep rooting in your mind, but our thought comes to your mind. That I saw a
Okay.
picture yesterday on TV about a particular new car of Maruti. What if I
Mm.
have this car? This is sankalpa. But with
Okay. Okay.
repeated thinking of that sankalpa, it starts getting converted into your ichha, your desire. That
Desire.
desire becomes the desire become even strong, and it becomes a kamana. And kamana, when it will say, if I don't get this car, I'll never be happy in my life. So when your satisfaction starts depending on acquiring that particular object of life,
Mm-hmm.
that disturbs the mind. That's why sankalpa, if you can give up at that moment only, then it will
Okay.
not
Okay.
lead you to kamana.
Okay. No,
Further
but at the
disturbances
same
can
time,
go ahead.
at the
Yeah.
same time, suppose we always need improvement in our life. We need
Yes.
to achieve something more. So
Yes.
will it be a wrong thing to do?
No. It is always, see, we have to use our own discretion and to see
Okay.
which desires are related to material world and which desires
Yeah.
are related to our spiritual world. We would
Okay.
always distinguish between these two desires, kamanas. Something which leads us to closeness to God is always an
Okay.
auspicious desire that we should fulfill. To have
Okay.
a desire to read all 18 adhyayas of Gita every day is a desire which we should pursue,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
isn't it?
I got it. Got it. So that means sankalpa, to, as you said, to cut the connection of
Ah,
sankalpa to desires at the right time, then you can probably will not get into
yeah,
trap. Okay.
yeah. Further
And I think,
derailment can be avoided.
and as you said, this meditation, if you do
Yes.
gradually, shani, gradually it may
Yes.
help in
Yes.
cutting it.
It has to be the
Okay.
Shani Shani only. Don't expect wonders suddenly.
Yeah, okay, okay. So, Vikas Bhaiya, thank you so much for this
Thank you.
enlightening
Okay.
lecture today and guidance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anita ji? Anita ji, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Oh, yeah, she is not getting, I think. Uday ji?
Yeah.
Murli ji? You have a question, Uday ji?
No, I'm very delighted with the way he narrates, he explains. Really, very minute details. Very impressed.
Thank you. Thank you, Uday.
Murli ji, please ask your question.
Jai Shri Krishna. Bhayaji, you were telling this, the way we live when our eyes are open, that is also a meditation. If one performs all activities, whatever
Yes.
activity is doing, with full focus and full attention and concentration, that also becomes a meditation.
Yes. See the power of that when your eyes are open, and with open eyes you start seeing God every. See, when you are sitting for meditation, it is a regular practice that you get connected to your inner self. And over a period of time, people attain that kind of mastery that they can communicate with their inner self. The real magic of meditation is when you open your eyes and connect with the entire world in the same way as you are connecting to your inner self. So with open eyes also, you should be able to do meditation. The effect of meditation should be felt. That's why I said, if you do meditation for say half an hour or 1 hour, the effect of meditation should be seen for all 24 hours. That should be the objective of life.
Through our
That is
activities.
open eyes. That is the open eyes meditation. Your eyes are open, but you are still in that posture, mode of meditation only.
Okay.
Yeah.
And regarding Shloka 32,
Yeah.
many wrong things we see happening outside the world, and we get
Yeah.
a lot of mind gets agitated and frustrated, all those things. How do we overcome this? Because we see divinity in both the persons. Let's say some road rages happens and somebody's scolding, and we see divinity in both the persons. But we also get our mind gets more agitated because we also feel that we are part of it. How do we
See,
overcome
this
such
book does
things?
not say to accept anything wrong in life. This book doesn't say you should accept all wrongdoings happening around you in your life. You should go to a level lower than that, or rather a lower level higher than that. Instead of looking at that person as a person committing a crime or violating the discipline, we should put ourselves in his shoes and try to imagine that why he has broken the
That is
light
where we
traffic.
feel very agitated
We feel very
because we feel
agitated,
that as if
we
it's
feel very
happening to
angry.
us.
हम गालियां देने लगते हैं. When you are driving a car and somebody crosses suddenly, then we also start getting agitated. When we say Atmapambina Sarvadra Sampashita Arjuna, this sloka teaches us that we should put ourselves in his shoes. Maybe his parents are sick at home, he's going to hospital to bring medicines for them, or going to take doctor's appointment for them. He may be in great hurry for some reason. He may not be. But if we grant that to him, we become more peaceful. Getting disturbed by ourselves never helps, particularly in traffic. So this sloka, if we particularly follow in traffic, it will help us to become a better driver, and it will reduce the anxiety level, the anger level in our mind. Because such distractions, as you rightly said, are many around us these days. People follow very indisciplined way of behaving in the society. We see it around day in and day out. So at proper time, we should reprimand them. We should tell them in whatever good words we can. But every time, let it not disturb the inner peace of mind. That should be the objective. If at every such incidents we lose our balance of mind, our peace of mind, then whatever meditation sadhana we are doing for days and for months is going waste
That's
for
all
what?
gone.
Huh. So we should keep always that treasure of dhyan sadhana in mind, that I will not allow that sadhana to go waste just because of some such incidents. Somebody is crossing the road wrong way. Why should I get disturbed with my spiritual sadhana? Isn't it? My
Correct.
higher objective of life is different than to expect a smooth traffic on the road. It's an objective of life, okay. But the higher objective is much more than that. Attain Paramatma is the objective, and expecting smooth traffic on the road is another objective. Are both the objectives of same level?
No, the problem comes when we see the divinity in both. I am
Ah.
also divine, he is also divine. So the treating becomes a problem.
Yeah, so whatever happens around us, we should not let it disturb our inner peace. Is this Atma Sanyam Yoga? Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Any other questions, please?
Yogesh ji, I think you have a question.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jai Shri
please.
Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Regarding meditation, I have a question. What is
Yeah.
the right time to do the meditation? Because somebody says that immediately when we get up from the bed in the morning, you do the meditation for half an hour. But I need a clarity about that. I have also another 2-3 questions related to meditation only. So
Okay.
while doing the meditation, how our breathing should be, inhaling and outhailing, whether we inhaling, stop, outhale. So like that, whether we have to do it or not. And like Anulom Vilom, whether we have to do it. And whether we have to inside, we have to chant some God's name, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Like these things, I kindly give me clarity about it, Guruji.
Okay, first thing about the timing of meditation, when we should sit for meditation. If
Yeah.
somebody says that as soon as you get up, you sit for meditation, it may not be very correct. You get up in the morning, say you get up at say 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Normally it is recommended Brahma Muhurta, which ends at 5 o'clock. So before 5 o'clock you can do it, better it is. So if you get up at say 4:30 or quarter to 5, have your hot, warm glass of water, have your toilet, everything finished, be calm and clean, then sit for meditation. For a few minutes, do Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, which is an expanded version of Anulam Vilom. In Anulam Vilom, what we do? We take breath, we leave it. We take breath, we leave it. In Nadi Shodhan, what we do? We take the breath, we leave it, and in that condition of when we leave the breath, we remain in that condition for few seconds and then inhale the fresh breath. That is Nadi Shodhana.
So there is no need for holding our breath.
No, holding the breath, yes, but in Andulam Vilom, you hold the breath between two Andulam and Vilom. Here, when you take the fresh breath, that also, I'll demonstrate to you. Suppose you are doing Nadi Shodhana, then you inhale first. Hold it for some time. 4, 16, 8. That is normally the ratio. 4 counts you inhale, 16 counts you hold, and 8 counts you exhale. When you exhale for 8 counts, don't take the new breath for another 8 counts.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Okay.
and
Understood.
then take the fresh breath after that 8 counts. That is Nadi Shodhan Pranayam.
Okay.
Okay. So when
Okay.
you do this Nadi Shodhan Pranayam for say 5 minutes, then the mind becomes stable.
Okay.
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 Then you start your meditation. You before sit for meditation, you find a slok from Gita on which you want to do meditation. And before that, you start focusing either on Nasikagram or on the black spot on your wall or any object in front of you. Or as I said, on some mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram, or a particular picture of Krishna at your in your home, puja ghar. On any object, you try to focus your mind.
I have a
Having fixed
photo
that,
of Balakrishna.
Hmm.
So just in front of the photo, maybe I don't know 5-6 feet away, I sit
Hmm.
and namaskaram. Then I start doing it.
Yeah, but
Concentration is only on this Krishna.
yeah, but don't keep your eyes open just because you are seeing photo of Krishna or Murti of Krishna. Don't
Ah,
keep your eyes open.
no, closer only. Once
That
in the
image of
beginning,
Krishna has to be registered in your mind.
yes.
It is to be said, to be seen in your mind, not through
Oh,
your physical eyes.
okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
once you focus your mind on that,
Ah,
then you start thinking about the shloka. Suppose Atma Upamena Sakal Sampashidharjana Sukhamaya Diva Dukkam Yogi Paramamata. On this shloka, you are doing meditation.
okay.
So that you see that during the day today, when
Ah,
or yesterday, if you're doing the early morning meditation, yesterday when I saw this particular event happened, did I think it this way that if I was there in his position, what I would have felt, how I would have felt? I was insulted yesterday, or some other fellow was insulted yesterday. How we would feel when the same thing happens with us? So wherever anything happens to you, to your contact people around you in society on a particular day, think about his response, your response, and read this shloka mentally. Atma Upamena Sarvatra. Put yourself in his shoes and think of the situation from his point of view.
okay.
Probably the situation, the way you responded to situation would have been different if you knew this shloka very well.
Okay.
But during this thought, you are upsumming in your mind, the mind will start wandering here and there. Because
Yeah.
mind doesn't want to remain fixed on a particular thought for more than 2 seconds. So if you start going here and there, bring it back. Bring it back. That is the mantra. If you can do this bringing back for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you have done the sadhana for the day.
Yeah.
This
That I am
practice itself
doing.
of bringing back is a
I am
yoga.
doing it. It's wandering. Again, I will be bring it back. As you said,
Ah,
20, 25, 30 minutes I am able
yes,
to do it.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And
A day will come in your sadhana, in your dhyan, that when you bring it back, it remains there and you start experiencing a moment of thoughtlessness in your mind.
oh, great.
That fraction of moment when you experience thoughtlessness is the achievement of dhyan.
Okay. Okay.
And that
And
moment you have to target
okay.
thoughtlessness. And that fraction of moment, we have to expand it to more and more time. It may be happening for a fraction of a second. You expand it for a few seconds, few minutes. That thoughtlessness of mind is the ultimate objective of attaining attainment of your dhyan.
While sitting position, whether we have to put any dhyana mudra or something like that, can we do that?
You can put dhyan. You can put this dhyan mudra,
Ah,
dhyan mudra. You can put like this.
ah.
That is preferable. Yeah.
Either dhyana mudra or facing these fingers.
You can sit your palms are facing upward, or you can use it in Jnana Mudra. Both things are
Okay.
allowed. Sit in
Okay.
Padmasana, in Sukhasana, or if you
Yeah.
cannot sit on the floor, you can sit on the chair also.
Yes. Yes.
But
I'm sitting on
Samangaya
the.
Shirogrivan, Samangaya
Yeah.
Shirogrivan. Your head, your body, your neck should be in the same line, and body posture should be stable. Sthir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Guruji. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bhaiya, I don't think we have any further questions. So shall we move
Okay.
towards the Samapan? Thank you,
Yeah,
Bhaiya.
sure,
Thank
Vicky.
you again so much, Bhaiya, for that very engaging and thought-provoking Vivechan session. The restless mind, truly, if we follow this, will become restful, I'm sure. And to every sadhak who joined today, thank you for bringing your presence, attention, and enthusiasm to the satsang. We look forward to continuing this journey on Atma Sanyam Yoga next weekend. And our appreciation goes to the technical and back-end team whose dedicated seva quietly supports every session, every week. And as we carry today's reflection with us, let us pause, gather our thoughts in gratitude, and place them on the lotus feet of Bhagavan through prayers. For this, I respectfully invite Ankita Ramaniji from Surat. Ankita ji joined Geeta Pariwar in 2025 and is devotedly offering her seva as a co-trainer. Ankita ji, may I request you to offer our collective prayers on the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Ankita ji, for chanting the prayer on our behalf. And sadhaks, let us carry today's wisdom, which was invaluable into the week, not merely as something we have heard, but as an invitation to practice steadiness, discipline, and greater mastery over our restless minds, and return next week with the same spirit of seeking and sadhana. And now let us conclude today's session by joining together in the collective chanting of the Hanuman Chalisa. Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।